Hello, I'm Abigail of Ground and Grow Yoga, and today I have a video that's going to focus on your low back. So we spend a lot of time hunched over, whether it be riding in the car or looking at our phone or computer screen, and so our low backs are very weak. And one of the problems with this means that it's very easy to have a low back injury. So this is going to focus on strengthening those muscles to enable us to have better posture, to have a stronger core altogether, and it's something that we need to spend more time on. So hop on your mat and let's get started.
To get started, we're going to come onto our knees. If you need a little bit of extra padding for your knees, I would suggest using a blanket. You can also fold over your mat, but I know that can be a little complicated. So fold the blanket as many times as you need to, and then put your knees on it. We're going to walk our hands forward and come into puppy pose, allowing your forehead to touch the mat. We're going to relax through the upper body, but engage the core and try to keep our hips directly over our knees. So here we're going to connect with our breath, inhaling in, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. And as you continue to breathe, yearn your armpits towards the mat and just really release through your upper body. A few more breaths here. And then we're going to push up and we're going to do our cat-cow. So rounding in, bringing chin to chest, really sucking the navel in and trying to lengthen your tailbone down between your knees. And then come up and shine your heart forward towards the front of the room. So round. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, round. And then we can kind of veer off into intuitive movement or drunk cat-cow. So just moving however feels good to really wake up the back. Because we're going to be targeting the low back, and this is something that we don't do very often. Make sure you go the other direction if you haven't already. But we don't target it very often, and so our low back is usually pretty weak because we're crouching forward and looking at things. So we need to be very careful of it. So come into a wide leg child's pose, knees as wide as the yoga mat. And then you're going to bring your hands and rest them on your low back so that you're telling yourself this is what you're paying attention to. So as you inhale in, it should feel as if it's expanding. And as you exhale, it's contracting. So just keeping your focus here. You can rock a little bit. You can also bring your hands into reverse prayer if that's something that you like to do, but that's definitely not needed. So as long as you're keeping your hands on your low back and feeling into that, you're in a good place. Roll up slowly. And we're going to place the left hand on the mat, reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling. Hanging out here for a second to get a stretch through the low back, and then switch. Right hand down, left hand up towards the ceiling. Be careful not to crane your neck. Instead, you're focusing on lifting the heart towards the ceiling. Then come back down. You're going to curl your toes under and then sit back on them. If this is uncomfortable, then come up so that you're holding your body up, or walk your hands forward. We're going to do shoulder rolls here, going one way and then the other way. You can untuck the toes as well if that's more comfortable for you. And then we're going to bring the hands to the collarbones. So this might feel kind of weird, but you're going to press your collarbones into your hands, and then you're going to bring your head to look over one shoulder and then the other shoulder. So this should feel like a pretty intense stretch through your neck. It's important to remember that the whole spine is interconnected. Really, our whole body is interconnected. So if we're working one part of our body, typically we're also working the other parts to help here. The neck and the low back are even more connected because they're sympathetic curves. So when one's trying to do one thing, the other one tries to help out and do that as well. So come down into normal child's pose, and then we're going to sweep up and turn to the side, a little bit of a twist. So paint down over your mat, sweep up, and to the other side, twist. So this might feel weird at first, but you'll get the hang of it. So paintbrush, sweeping up and down, over to the side like you're posing. You really want to make sure you're engaging your abs. Sweep down and up, and twist. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, sweep up, and twist. Down, up, and twist. Good. Down, up, and twist. Exhale down, inhale up, and twist. Coming back down, we're going to move our blanket. You might still want to use it if it's sensitive to lay down on the ground. I know that my hip bones dig into the ground and it's uncomfortable, so I like to put a blanket underneath my hip points. And then you're going to come to lay down, bring your hands out as if they were little spiders. You're going to press up on them and then down, like you're catching a wave. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Again, make sure that you're engaging through your feet, so only the top part of you is moving, and that also you're not craning your neck too far up because of that sympathetic curve. We don't want to overarch our low back, so we also don't want to overarch our neck. So again, like you're catching a wave, and then you can hold it at the top and sway side to side. You might feel a lot of sensations in your low back, and again, that's because typically we don't exercise it. Coming into Sphinx, we're going to make sure our shoulders are over our elbows and that we're engaging our navel in, and then we're going to do little lifts. So engage the navel and release. Engage the navel and release. Again, and this time come up onto your toes as well, or you can continue to engage and release. You can press into the tops of your toes and come up and release. Press and draw the navel in and release. Good. So from here, we're going to come into just a static Sphinx, breathing, holding this little bit of an arch, and then bringing your hands down to the mat. You can bring your head to rest on your hands, and you can face one direction. And then we're going to lift the legs slowly, alternating up and down. You want to keep your hip points on the ground, so you don't want to lift your legs up too far. If you do that, you will pull a muscle in your low back, so you want to make sure not to lift them too high. So up slightly, lower, up slightly, lower. You can pick up the speed a little bit here, but you're just doing alternating leg lifts. Switch your head to face the opposite direction, and then we're going to lift both legs at once. And when we lift them both, we really want to be moving our inner thighs towards each other as if they were tied together. As we lift, they draw in. You can even imagine that you're squeezing a block between your inner thighs. Or if you want to, even grab a block and squeeze it between your inner thighs. Good. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. lift, and lower. Good. Now we're going to move the upper body up and down. So you're keeping the lower body anchored. Inhale in, lift the upper body, and exhale. Inhale in, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale in, lift. You can hold for a second. We want to make sure that we don't lift up again too high. Now we're going to lift both. Good. This is a lot of work, and like I said, you might feel a lot of sensation in your low back. You can even put your hands on your low back if that helps you to be more conscious of not overlifting. Good. Lift and lower. Now bringing the arms out and extending them. And lower. Lift, arms extended. And lower. Lift and lower. And now you might be tired, but we're going to swim. So you'll probably feel ridiculous that you're going to pretend to be swimming, kicking your feet, moving your arms, and release. We're going to do it again. Here we go. Swimming on the floor. Good. Here we go. You're almost there. And release. And just kidding, we're going to do it one more time. So swimming like you really need to get somewhere. You can do it. Stick with it. Here we go. And hold. Release. Good. Push yourself back up slowly. And we're going to come so that we are sitting with our legs out in front of us. You're going to flex through your feet. Keep your knees bent. Sit up as tall as you can. You're going to dip your chin into your chest. And you're going to fold forward from your hips. So really allow your head to drop. You're going to feel it all the way up and down your spine, but particularly in your low back. Just allow your head to fall right between your knees. Good. And just breathe. Slowly roll up. Thank you for taking this time with me to take care of your low back. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.
If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like as well as subscribe so that I can continue to produce free content.